Hey there, my name's Shannon and this is Lavender Sky. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really happy with how this month's theme came together and I'm really excited to share this one with you. I'm a registered counsellor here in Australia. I'm in beautiful Perth in Western Australia. This is Whadjuk Noongar land, and as we start, I'd like to give my thanks to the elders past, present and emerging. I'm really grateful to be living and working on the land here in this beautiful part of the country. There's been a cyclone that's come through the western coast recently, Cyclone Narelle, and I just wanted to take a moment to say that I hope everyone out there is safe and well. Here I talk about mental health and well-being and journaling because I love it. And in this space here, I'd love to share my passion for how those two things intersect for me. I want to share that with you. Today I'm setting up my April spreads. As always, I'm in this beautiful notebook this year by Ty Fossey. It's getting pretty chunky so far, but it's holding up really well. Before I get into the mental well-being of it all, I wanted to show you what inspired my theme this month. I've had a couple of questions recently on how I pick my themes and stuff, so I don't know, this is how it came together for me. I recently went to a market a couple of weekends ago, and the only thing I ended up taking home were these stickers and cards from a stall by Moni Illustrates. I have a link to her Instagram in the description, so go and check that out if you're a Perth local or if you wanted to maybe order some of her stuff. I came home with these 3 stickers and then 10 cards, and aren't they all really lovely? First, let's get a closer look at those stickers. I chose these 3 because, well, my favourite colour is purple and these all have that same colour throughout, so I thought I could use them together. And let's see if any of those cards have that same purple. Maybe I could make something out of a few of these together. Oh, the silliest goose and a few of these cards have that same pale pink, so maybe they would go together for something, but not quite what I'm looking for with the purple. I really like this back with the flower basket. It has the same kind of purples as those birds, and some of the same colours from those flowers could be something. And then this last one of the vase. It maybe doesn't have the same purples that I'm seeing, but it does have these similar tones of blue. So maybe these 3 go together. Let me just check again. Yeah, no, see, this one's too neon, you know? And yeah, I don't think this birdie goes. You know what though, I might keep those stickers for something else. Maybe for a reading journal page setup. There's that stack of books there. But for now, I think I'm going to stick with these 3 cards. Let's see what else I have from my inventory of stuff. Okay, I grabbed this paper. This is just some like crepe paper from some packaging from a set of dice I got a while back. I'm a hoarder, what can I say? I also have this trusty script washi tape. And just this plain pale pink tape. And this speckled tape. And I think what's going to bring it all together could be like this watercolor florally washi tape. And in my last video I mentioned I don't have many character stickers. What I do have is this tape, and I have it in a few different colors. This is a pink one with a few girls and dogs on them. It's not perfect and not really what I'm looking for, but I think it's going to be okay. Oh, and as I was reaching for those like butterfly clips for my journal, I saw this packet of square paper. Let me just have a little look and see if there's anything that could go with what I've grabbed. Yeah, okay, maybe this. Look, I'm just gonna keep it out, see how we go. Okay, so I'm trying to put together this cover page for April, and I just wanted to use a full card without tearing it or collaging like I normally do. And I'm going back and forward between this bicycle and this vase. I'm glad I settled on the bicycle. I think the background around this is much more conducive to putting a washi tape background down. And at first I thought I wanted to start with this script washi tape, so I'm gonna put a lot of time and effort into creating this like border of washi tape where that will go around the card. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think that I nailed it? Do you think that it looks good? Do you think I could have done something different or better with this script washi tape as the border? Let me know your thoughts. See, it's cute, right? But I'm not completely sold on it. Anyway, in the middle of all that, I discovered there's this really nice pattern on the back of these cards, and I thought it was such a shame to like glue that down and lose that. So I did a little fiddling and picking at this paper with my nail file, and I realized maybe I could separate the back and the front. So this is what I'm doing to all 3 of these cards. I'm just running my nail file around to separate the papers a little bit and give me a bit of purchase to like grab and very gently and very carefully tear them apart from each other. So now instead of just one card with one nice pattern, I have 2 papers with 2 nice patterns. Okay, back to the cover page. This is where I thought, what about that floral washi tape? I know it's a lot busier, but I think because of the card with the flowers mostly being in the center and there being a little bit of negative space around the outside of the card itself, I felt like maybe this floral washi tape, the busyness of it, would be well balanced with the card. So we're going to try it out and we're going to see how that looks compared to this script washi tape. And the theme of today is growth. And in some small ways, this is a little bit of growth as well, I'd say. Trying something out, learning that I don't love it, giving something else a chance. There's always room to change your mind and always room to grow. Yeah, I like that. I think it has the right balance of big pattern in the middle, negative space with the rest of the card, and then busy pattern around it. I think it looks good. What do you think? Or should I have stayed with the script? Let me know what your thoughts are, what your feelings are about it. Did I make the right choice? Did I not? I'd love to hear. Today, I wanted to talk about growth. When I first started my private practice, I had this idea of 3 core pathways of therapy. They are resilience, growth, and tranquility. Maybe they sound a little bit familiar. They're on the title card of my videos and all of my Lavender Sky branding. I will talk more about resilience and tranquility another time, but for today, I wanted to talk about growth. To me, growth is a process of understanding who you are, developing new skills and attitudes, and helping you reach your highest potential. It can be about learning who you are or why you are, tapping into that sense of knowing yourself. It can be about reflecting on your experiences through life and bringing you a greater understanding of how your life has influenced and shaped you. On one hand, growth can be looking back on your life to understand how you got to the place you're at now. The other side of growth, which for me I feel is just as important, is understanding where you are now and where you want to be, and knowing how you plan to get there. As a therapist, I encourage growth in my clients through reflection. Our experiences can always offer things that we can learn from, if only we have the courage and sometimes gentle guidance to see. And right here, before we go any further, I do want to encourage you, if you're listening, to think about what support you might need or want for yourself as you reflect on your own growth, because I know it can be hard sometimes. And specifically in my case, this is where having an experienced guide can make a lot of difference. You don't have to navigate the hard stuff alone. With what I'm going to talk about next, you can take these as like journal prompts for your own reflections, or if you're wanting and maybe needing that extra support, that could be something that you can take with you into your own therapy session. But I encourage you to trust what you know you need and to follow through with that. Alright, so to start with, I want to talk about looking back. And if you like, you can sit with some of these questions for yourself and reflect on your own growth. Maybe grab your own journal or notebook, maybe even make a voice note if you prefer. Any way that you like to get your thoughts out, it's totally up to you. What do you think are some experiences in life that shaped you? Maybe start with 1 or 2, 3 if you can think of them. Now, why were they significant? What were you like before that experience? And in what ways did having that experience change you? Take your time to really reflect and look back on your life. It can be small things, it can be big things. Just allow those thoughts and memories to flow through. You don't have to think too hard about them. Maybe the first things that come to mind are okay to start with. It doesn't have to be profound or powerful all the time. It can be small memories or small moments or things that just suddenly come out of nowhere. Okay, another reflection for you. Can you think of any moments in life of rejection? It might be feelings that you've had for someone that weren't reciprocated. It could be like not fitting into a certain friend group or clique at school or uni. Maybe something like being turned down for a job application that you really, really wanted. But again, whatever comes to your mind, go with that. Now, when you think of this experience of rejection, did you change anything about yourself, your behavior, your appearance, maybe the way that you interact with people? What changes did you make to protect yourself from being rejected in the same way again in the future? This can be a really tricky one, the way that we protect ourselves from being hurt. Maybe we don't put ourselves out there as often as we once did. Maybe we don't apply for promotions or job opportunities that are a bit of a reach for us. I know I've definitely been in the experience where I've sought career progression and was really quite harshly rejected for it. And that kind of scared me off chasing career progression for a long time. And that's a behavior in myself that I changed. I shied away from that because of the pain. And I didn't want to experience that pain again. So to protect myself from pain, I didn't try. I don't know if working for myself has overcome that fear of rejection, but maybe it's just taken me out of the game. Maybe I'm having realizations now. Something I can work on. But for you, what do you learn about yourself from the ways that you protect yourself from the pain of rejection? This is our last one for the looking back part of growth. I want you to pick a big feeling. Maybe it's anger, anxiety, maybe it's fear, sadness or disappointment, maybe it's happiness or joy. Whatever big feeling feels most accessible to you. Now I want you to think back, when was the first time you remember having that feeling? Maybe you have a real core memory of the first time you felt joy or creative or empowered or inspired. But maybe you have a strong memory of feeling really angry as a young person, maybe feeling really scared or really sad. If it's safe for you to do so, I want you to tap into that big feeling and try to recall what was going on around you. What was your environment like at the time? Who were the people around you at the time? Give a bit of context to that feeling. And now, when you have that same feeling in your life today, can you see if there are any similarities between the first time you felt that feeling and now? Maybe you have that same feeling when you're around similar people, maybe when you're in similar circumstances. Or maybe not. All I'm asking here is to get curious about it, to see if there are any connections between the past and the present. Because with growth, sometimes the past and the present can inform our future. How about that? It's all about that sense of knowing yourself, knowing these patterns that appear in your life. Seeing if you can make changes to those patterns to have different outcomes for the future. When we look back, we have this beautiful benefit of seeing how things actually played out. Maybe things we weren't able to see when we were living through that experience in real time. Sometimes those outcomes were good, sometimes they were bad. Sometimes they might have been expected outcomes, and other times I'm sure there were a lot of surprises. Whatever the case though, there is something to learn about yourself in all of that. And if that's all that we get out of this reflection today, learning a little bit more about yourself, why you are the way you are, what influences, what kind of cause and effect your experiences have had on your life, I think that's cool. Okay, so I have this card here. It has these desaturated birds on it. It was actually the backing to this bird card, and I've just done the same thing that I did with the title page. I just tore the back and the front off these, so now I have two. My goal is to colour in each of these birds with a colour for my mood each day. I think there's 31 or 30, so that should cover all of the days in April. And then at the end I will have hopefully a lot brighter, more colourful page, like the saturated version of it, for my moods throughout the month. I am going to pick colours that are maybe already existing on this card. So oranges, blues, some bright purples and pinks perhaps, and I'll just assign each of those a mood in the key. Across from that page, I'm doing my 1 line a day gratitude log. And to add a little bit of visual interest to this page, because I don't think there's enough going on with all of these really desaturated and muted cards and colors, I'm just going to add a 2nd line highlight. Alright, we're going to switch gears now, away from looking back on growth, and now we're going to look forward with growth. Again, grab a book, a journal, a voice note, whatever you need, and I want you to write down your 3 biggest goals. They might be short-term goals, things you want to achieve in the next 12 months, or 6 months, or 3 months. They don't have to be huge, but what are your goals? And if you already haven't, I want you to start writing about why they are your big goals. How did you come up with them? Why are they important to you? What does reaching those goals mean to you? What does not reaching those goals mean? And maybe, who do those goals really benefit? Is it something that you're doing for yourself, or is it something that you're doing for other people to satisfy what other people want or expect from you? Or is it to satisfy what you want or expect for yourself? Okay, and now you've written a little bit about your goals, why they are, what they are, how they are. It's time to think about what steps are you taking this week, this month, over the next 3 or 6 months to work towards each of those goals. What are the tangible things that you're doing to make sure you achieve them? Maybe with that as well could be the question of, are there any barriers to achieving these goals? What are they? How do those barriers get there? What needs to change for those barriers to be removed? How can you make those changes? And also, what needs to change within yourself to achieve those goals? I think something we can all relate to, maybe, is the goal of finally going to the gym consistently. Or maybe that's just me. But something that needs to change within myself for me to achieve that goal, if it was one of my goals, would be that I need to develop a better routine and more consistency and a sustainable approach to going to the gym in my life. It's not just going to be a matter of me waking up tomorrow and going to the gym every morning. There are probably things that need to change in my life to help this routine really stick. Anyway, that's just an example. Maybe your goals and barriers are different. Maybe they're not. That's for you to know. And with that, that's all the reflecting on growth that I wanted to bring to you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this reflection for yourself. I wonder if you've learnt anything new or interesting, or have new insights about how you are, why you are the way you are, what you love about that, what you maybe want to change. But either way, it's been really fun having you here, and I hope that you've gotten something out of being here. And this last page, as always, it's kind of like an additional page if I have the space for it. This is going to be just an extra journal space or memory keeping spread or junk journaling page. So it only needs some very basic decoration around the outsides because it's either going to be filled up with writing or ephemera. I've really enjoyed using the Moni Illustrates cards for this setup. I'm really excited to see how I use the rest of them throughout my journaling or reading journaling pages. Definitely keep an eye out for that silly goose. I feel like she is going to be somewhere. I don't know how and I don't know when, but I know that eventually she's going to show up again. My next video I'm planning as my March reading wrap up in my reading journal, so keep an eye out for that in the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping to have that done and ready for you all in about a fortnight, so around the 18th of April, that's about 2 weeks away. 18th, Saturday, 19th, Sunday, 20th, Monday. We'll see how busy life gets. I've read a couple of good books in March and I'm going to be doing a book giveaway, so you'll have to wait and see that video to learn more about it. But if you're interested in entering a little book giveaway, I definitely think you should watch it. And let's do a flip through of my April setup. Thank you for being here till the end. Let me know what your favorite pages turned out to be. I think my favorite page is gonna be the cover page and the calendar log. I really like how they look next to each other. I, for one, am really glad that I changed from the script background to the floral background. I think it has the effect that I wanted. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. But let me know your favorite page. As we're flipping through, you'll notice that I've added the titles to each of these pages. I did those off camera because we've had that cyclone and a lot of heavy weather and rain over the weekend. My filming room was just really dark and it was just really bad lighting to record, so I didn't. Anyway, this is the flip through with those titles added. I've just used a very simple like calligraphy font. Nothing too crazy. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take gentle care out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!